Gender differences in the classroom. The benefits to teaching and learning. How can understanding of gender differences in the classroom help with teaching and learning? In this video, we aim to explore the topics of gender differences, what sort of differences are there when it comes to learning, and how understanding these differences can benefit different approaches to teaching. Note, the terms referenced in this video are taken as the following. Gender is a construct, however, we refer to gender as boys and girls. When we reference the classroom, we are referencing either the in-person classroom or the online classroom. Gender differences in school. Prior to middle school, generally there is not much difference between the genders in terms of how they interact in the classroom. Once students reach university level, again, there is not much difference in how they interact in the classroom. Therefore, this video will focus on the ages of students between middle school and high school, where understanding differences may bring the most benefits to teaching and learning. The designs of schools. Generally speaking, girls tend to mature faster than boys, and it is perhaps why the designs of school systems seem to favor girls over boys. Schools are generally designed to have students sit for long periods of time in order for the teachers to teach. They also expect certain forms of communication and behaviors both inside and outside the classroom. In this video, we look at addressing three main differences: sitting in the classroom, ways of communication, and the general ways boys and girls behave in the classroom. Sitting in the classroom. It takes a great sense of maturity to remain sitting for long periods of time, and so with mixed gender classrooms, boys are often seen as the immature ones, are always seeking attention because they just can't seem to sit as still as the girls do in the classroom. If the teacher takes the approach to note how well the girls are listening and how the boys seem not to be listening as well for always wanting to move around, then two things may happen when it comes to behavior. The boys may completely withdraw and not participate, or they may begin to rebel and cause further problems in the classroom. Teachers, therefore, need to be aware that in structuring a lesson, students must be given the opportunity to move around during the lesson as to meet the needs of both genders and avoid behavior issues. Visit our video on lesson planning to see how to structure the class to allow for some independent time where students can be free to move around while getting their work done. Now, moving around in the online classroom can mean something different. It can refer to allowing students time to do some stretching exercises. It also means allowing the students to do work in breakout rooms so they can feel free to communicate in their own ways. Visit our video on using EdTech tools in the online classroom to see how to implement breakout rooms in the online classroom. Communication in the classroom. Note, the observations made in this video as to the differences in gender is meant to give a general representation of boys and girls. Not all boys and girls will behave in the exact same way, and therefore when we express a thought, it is a general representation. The differences in gender when it comes to communication is simple. Boys tend to prefer short, direct communication when it comes to answering or asking questions. On the other hand, girls prefer to elaborate as they tend to enjoy the experience of communicating. In understanding the nature of communication styles between boys and girls, teachers can better structure their questions in a manner that showcases the strengths and responses between boys and girls. Therefore, it is important that teachers not expect the same communication style from boys as they do with girls. Behavior in the classroom. When it comes to behavior, it goes without saying that students must be on their best behavior to get the most out of learning. Students must work together to make the learning environment safe and open to making mistakes and learning from these mistakes. The classroom must have its own culture rather than defer to society's culture norms as to how boys and girls should behave. It is one where the behavior of the individual is recognized over that of being a boy or a girl. It's to be understood that when you are communicating in the classroom, we are seen as individuals and are to be treated with respect and common polite words. Click to watch our video on discipline in the classroom and how to deal with behavior issues in the classroom. The benefits gender differences bring to teaching and learning. Failing to recognize the value boys and girls bring to the classroom as boys and girls and as individuals can cause serious problems to teaching and learning. When boys and girls see themselves as being appreciated for who they are and the value they can add to the classroom is being appreciated, then they will become more attentive and active members in the classroom. They will add benefits to the discussion and improve their learning. Teachers will find it easier to communicate with the students and appreciate how responsive they will become to all the teacher asks them to do. This also works to help build solid relationships between teachers and students. Click to watch our video on the 4 important elements to building teacher-student relationships. They say that as presenters of truth, or in other words, as teachers or comedians, it is important to know your audience. In knowing your audience, you will be able to know when it is best to present and how best to present the material and what kind of response it may bring. When teachers know the behavior of their students in the class, both as individuals and in how nature is involved with boys and girls when it comes to movement and communication, then they can coordinate their teaching strategies to help build confidence and enthusiasm when it comes to learning. For more on teachers and teaching strategies from EduKitchen Recipes for Learning, visit our website at edukitchen.net and subscribe to our YouTube channel at EduKitchen Recipes for Learning. Leave us a comment below, share your thoughts on this video, and let us know whether you agree on our thoughts on gender differences in the classroom. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to EduKitchen Recipes for Learning for more educational videos on topics in teaching and learning. And until next time, keep learning and have fun. Thanks for watching.